welcome to Dungeon Girls Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So today we're reviewing the DC animated film Green Lantern First Flight, which came out in 2009. It's an hour and 17 minutes, and it's directed by Lauren Montgomery, with written by Alan Burnett, story by John Broome and Gil Kane, who is the son of Bob Kane, who's an artist. Gil Kane's also an artist. The movie stars Christopher Meloni, who you'll know from SVU, Oz, and I was gonna say The Wire, but he was in The Wire, and he's in that new show called Happy with Patton Oswalt, that's based off Grant Morrison comic book, which I haven't read, but I saw the TV show on Netflix. So I saw the first couple episodes. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and he voice acts as Hal Jordan. You got Victor Garber as Sinestro. He's a Canadian actor who's been in like movies like he's been in a lot of movies, Hollywood movies too. He's been in Argo. You got Michael Madsen as Kilowog, who you should know Michael Madsen as Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs. Tricia Helfer as Boudica. She was in Battlestar Galactica, the remake, not the original. Bruce Timm as Bug Boy, and John Lacquerette as Tomare. Who's the rest of the cast? I mean, doesn't matter. Kurtwood Smith as Kenjar Rowe. Larry Drake as Ganthet. Oh, I didn't recognize his voice. Oh, and Kurtwood Smith was Red Foreman on Dad's 70s Show, and he was the bad guy in RoboCop. William Shatner as Appa Apso, which he's a Guardian. So was Larry Drake. And that was pretty much all the rest of the famous people. Yeah, so this was the first Green Lantern animated film. They made a second one, I forget what it's called, a few years later, where they had fuck. God damn, I always forget people's names, man. Oh my god. The guy who was in that TV show Firefly, he was like the final villain in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and he was in that TV show Castle, I think it was called, where it was about this like author who helps some female detective solve cases. I think that show was called Castle, I don't know. And like people really wanted him to play Hal Jordan in the movies, even though he's a bit too old for that. But you know, he would have been. It's a thing where he would have been fine back in the day, but nah, man, he's too old now. Which I forget. Well, let's just take a look. Oh, god damn it. Is it Nathan? No, it's not Nathan. Nathan Fillion, that's his name. I almost said Nathan Drake. No, it's Nathan Fillion. Right. Which that movie... Oh, it was Emerald Knights. Okay. Nathan Fillion, yeah. Which that movie kind of... I wouldn't say it sucked, but it was like... It was like an anthology movie. Like, it didn't really have one... It was like basically... The movie should have been called Tales of the Green Lantern or whatever. Though I guess that's kind of implied with Emerald Knights, but whatever. It was an anthology movie. I didn't really like it at all. They brought Nathan Fillion to play Hal Jordan for like nothing, basically. I wouldn't say for nothing. He got paid, but I'm saying like it was pretty much a waste of time. Right? So yeah, I'm doing this movie review because one, I did a Green Lantern showcase where I talked about my Green Lantern graphic novels and trade paperbacks, and two, I was supposed to review Vampirella, but that movie is so fucking bad. Oh my god, it's so bad. So this movie is basically an origin story of Green Lantern Hal Jordan and how he first became Green Lantern, which the story is, if you don't know, Abin Sur, a Green Lantern, crash lands on Earth, and before he dies, he entrusts his ring to Hal Jordan to become the new Green Lantern of Sector, I think it was Sector 2814, or was it like 2418? I can't remember. I think it was 2418. I can't remember. Yeah, and yeah, he becomes the Green Lantern of Earth for a while. Gets visited by a bunch of Green Lanterns led by Kilowog, where they immediately attack Hal Jordan, thinking he killed Albin Sur and took his ring. He gets taken back to the Guardians, and they just immediately trash talk our boy Hal Jordan, talking smack about humanity and how much we suck and how we're barbarians and whatnot. But then Sinestro shows up and he's like, "Hey, I think this human has spunk. Let me keep him under my wing." And immediately they show. If you didn't know, Sinestro was basically the Joker to Green Lantern's Batman. You pretty much figure it out after their first date together, where he takes Hal Jordan to catch this guy who may have been involved in the death of Albin Sur. Hal Jordan catches the guy and immediately gets attacked by Sinestro because he didn't like Hal Jordan undermining him in front of like suspects and the people. And immediately, Sinestro talks about how ineffectual and how dumb the Guardians are, right? And how they entrust the Green Lanterns with great power, and they're basically just garbage men. Which is like, oh my god, just like showing like how, just letting you know right away that like Sinestro is going to be the villain of the movie if you didn't know from the cartoons and comics and stuff. Which the main plot of this movie is basically somebody out there is trying to create a power battery like the Green Lantern's one, but using a yellow element. Which, if you read the Green Lantern comics, yellow represents fear, and fear is the weakness of the Green Lanterns because Green Lanterns power is powered by will, and fear is the death of will. And like in the old comics, they got rid of this weakness, but the old Green Lantern comics, their powers wouldn't work against anything yellow. So Green Lantern, super powerful character who can create energy constructs made out of light. He can fly, he can shoot energy blasts. He can do pretty much anything with his imagination. But you paint yourself yellow and you can beat the shit out of him. Kind of like in that really shitty Frank Miller All-Star Batman, where him and Robin painted trick Hal Jordan into a room painted yellow, and they beat the shit out of him. Well, Robin does, not Batman, which I hated. As a Green Lantern fan, I hated that book, even though I am a Frank Miller fan as well. But how they disrespected our boy Hal Jordan in that comic book was so fucking bad. So bad. Trying thirsty. Yeah, so what ends up happening, which in this movie, there's a lot of death in this movie, which was kind of cool. And the animation for this movie is really well done. The character designs are probably the weakest part of the movie. Was not a fan of the character designs. And Christopher Meloni as Hal Jordan, even though I thought voice-wise he's a great match, as a voice actor, he could use a little bit more experience. But yeah, the animation was great in this movie. It was really smooth. Why it was so great and smooth was they weren't using cheap Korean like animation, like sweatshop animation. They were using actual Japanese animators for a change, which made the movie look amazing in my opinion. Yeah, so the movie, obviously, it's revealed that Sinestro was the one who was trying to find the yellow element, trying to create the yellow lantern battery, and he becomes the first Yellow Lantern, betrays the Guardians and the Green Lanterns, and pretty much almost like kills a shitload of Green Lanterns by damaging the battery, and like taking away the power of the Green Lantern. So like every Green Lantern who was in space or in the middle of a fight lost their powers instantly. So you had like a lot of like people die, and how you know people die is because like the Green Lantern rings will return to Oa, which is the capital, right? So what ends up happening is Hal Jordan is able to tap into the power battery directly, and he becomes this like Super Saiyan like Green Lantern, where he's covered in Green Lantern energy, and he has his final fight with Sinestro and wins, and that's the end of the movie, right? So I really enjoyed the movie. Like I said, great animation. I really enjoyed the casting, but like Christopher Meloni could have used. I think Christopher Meloni, if he gets more practice as a voice actor, could be great. But yeah, he wasn't too great in this film. But overall, I enjoyed this movie. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. If you're a Green Lantern fan, I think this is a pretty cool first Green Lantern movie. It was probably better. Probably better than the live action one, even though I don't mind the live action movie too much, except for like, you know, little thing here and there, like the stupid like Hot Wheels scene was dumb, and the whole like, you know, him like going up against the scene in the first scene in the movie where he's like going up against like these advanced like, you know, fighter planes, and like he's having like flashbacks to his dad. And like, you know, he's like, you know, he gets distracted, almost like what, crashes plane or some shit like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I thought that scene was dumb. But overall, I thought that movie was okay at times. Would have liked the sequel. But what can you do? Yeah. So I think if you're a Green Lantern fan, like I said, you would enjoy this movie. I kind of wish that DC did more movies like this, where they would show off like, you know, a cool character from the comics, not just do like a Batman and Superman movie like every 6 months, which is it's been like over a decade and they're still fucking doing that. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Can we get like a well, we're getting a JSA movie, but it's with most of the cast are like, you know, not there, and were replaced by like, you know, modern day Flash and like Wonder Woman, which, you know, which I know Wonder Woman was part of the JSA, but it's like, oh my god. And it's in World War II again. They already did a World War II like anime movie, right? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It'd be cool if they just did if they could once in a while do a movie on lesser characters or lesser teams. Like, I'm surprised we haven't gotten a Doom Patrol animated film yet. Which, you know, Doom Patrol would be cool. Metal Men. I'm trying to think of some other things. Outsiders, I guess. Maybe not Outsiders. They already did a couple Teen Titans movies. Trying to think. Adam Strange would be cool. Legion of Superheroes would be cool. I don't know. If you guys have any, like, what are some of your favorite DC characters that you would like to see an anime film up? Let me know in the comments. Alright guys, peace.